In 2011, the Government of India introduced these new rules, point of taxation rules 2011. With this, they have changed the scheme. Now, service tax is payable on accrual basis, just like excise. Accrual basis means it is irrelevant whether you have received the payment or not for the services provided by you, simply because you have provided services means that is completed services. Once you have completed services, next step is your liability arises. So, your liability arises the moment you issue a bill. For this, what they have done is, they have taken 3 parameters. One is point of time when you receive money, next one point of time when you issue invoice, point of time when you completed the service. What is completion of service? Again, CBC has issued a circular regarding what is completion. Completion means completion in all respects, but at the same time, out of these 3, date of completion becomes relevant only when you don't issue invoice within the time fixed. Otherwise, it is between date of issue of invoice and date of payment received. These are the 2 parameters. Out of these parameters, the date on which either of the event occurs earlier, the earlier of the 2. So, like that they have fixed the liability. So, these rules, point of taxation rules, point out the timing, the time at which, the date on which the service tax liability arose. Duty liability, so service tax liability, on what date the tax liability arises, that is determined by point of taxation rules. Practically, obviously, it pinpoints the time at which the service has been provided. So, from that particular point, it becomes relevant to find out the date of payment, due date of payment. Say for example, let us take an example. Tax liability arose, service tax levied or imposed, or tax liability arises on say 10th November. So, on this date, the service tax liability arose. Then the discharge of liability, date of discharge, date of payment accordingly is fixed, date of payment. So, date of payment of service tax will be accordingly. Suppose this is individual, a case of individual, firm or sole proprietor, like that, or say association of persons. So, it is quarterly. So, quarter ending. In this case, quarter ending will be December. October, November, December will be the quarter ending. So, due date will be, obviously due date will be January 6th, 5th or 6th, but you see nowadays service tax is payable on net banking basis, e-payment, because previously you paid 1 lakh or more, what we can say, service tax. In the current year, you have to pay e-payment only. So, almost we can say 6th, forget about 5th. So, in case of individual or firm, etc., and others, for others it is monthly. So, by 6th December, amount is to be paid, quarterly or monthly. So, how these dates have become relevant and how these dates have come into existence because of this? because the tax liability arose on 10th November, and if it is if the payment is on quarterly basis, quarter ending December, it is January 6th. If it is monthly basis, it is next month, that is 6th of December. So this tax liability, the date of tax liability or date of levy, you can say, date of levy determines date of payment. So these two, the due date is dependent on this. Or similarly, 7th August. Tax liability arose on 7th August, means point of taxation is 7th August. Here, quarter ending September. So, July, August, September, tax liability arises on October 6th. September ending, quarter, and October 6th. And next month immediately, September 6th. Because nowadays everything is e-payment only, you can say. So, it is 6th instead of 5th.